press that and assume that everything is fine.
I think it is.
Okay.
I think everything is fine. That's
God.
going to be the title of this. Everything is fine with Hank and
Everything-
Andrew. And you can tell by the tones of their voices that it's clearly not. That's the subtitle to it.
I wish I had gotten a less squeaky chair. And
It is. It's really working to your advantage right now.
Sounds like a fucking clown is behind me.
So this is Hank and Andrew on CBMF, and we're talking about Cable and the possibility of Cable being cast and him being in the Deadpool movie and who should play him. And I have some notes on it. So before I give my notes on it, what are your thoughts, man?
So, just like, should I throw a name out there? Is that where we're going?
Let's do it. Let's fucking...
This is a weird one.
All right.
And, like, I think he might die if he plays it. Michael Ironside.
Whoa, that is. He's old, isn't he?
Is he older than I think he is, probably?
I feel like I get Michael Ironside mixed up with the TV show Ironsides, which was about an old police officer in a wheelchair. I think my entire life I have been confused as to whether or not Michael Ironside is in a wheelchair.
I get it. I often confuse Michael Ironside with the Transformer Ironsides.
Oh, I feel like that just like opened something up inside of me that I've always known and never understood. Oh, I'm going to side note this for 1 second.
Yeah.
No, maybe I'm not.
Okay, cool. Good transition.
I had a really good casting for something. And, oh, you know Ed O'Neill, Married with Children?
Yes.
Jonah Jameson.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I'm really happy with that.
He's got a bit of like a dopey voice, though. Do you think he could put on a more stern?
I feel like I've seen him yell at people.
Like in life?
Yeah, in Wayne's World.
Okay, cool.
That's what I know.
Oh wow, I forgot he was even in that. I haven't seen Wayne's World.
It's really hard
a
to remember
long time.
Wayne's World. Speaking of Cable,
speaking of Wayne's World,
I don't know. So I don't know if we're just gonna trade off name for name here.
Sure, I don't have many. So.
I mean, my big one for years had been Clancy Brown.
Of Lex Luthor fame?
Yeah, and he was the something in the first Highlander. He was the bad guy in that. I know him from an episode of Lost.
I didn't know he was in that. I've never seen Lost. That's not true. I've seen about 6 episodes.
If we start, me, let's put the podcast on pause for a second, and I'm going to start explaining the plot of Lost to you, and like fucking 9 hours later, we're kicked out of the store.
When they have to start working.
Basically, stop talking about Lost. Never.
Clancy Brown, though.
Clancy Brown. But Clancy Brown was just in Daredevil, where he was the Punisher's old commanding officer, and
he was also in The Flash.
Against that kind of... Yeah. And he's just... That's too many things now.
You think?
I want to keep it open.
Okay.
Conversely, one of the other biggest names that I've had for years and years is Dolph Lundgren.
That was one of mine.
But I love Dolph Lundgren. I love the idea of him being Cable, and at the same time, I don't know if I could watch. If I'm watching a movie and Dolph Lundgren walks out,
it's Dolph Lundgren.
I'm not watching the movie anymore. And Deadpool is already on a line where I don't know how much I'm watching the Ryan Reynolds show sometimes. Like, sometimes I'm engaged in the movie, and sometimes I'm really aware that Ryan Reynolds is having a blast being this dude.
Yeah, for sure. It's clear that he loves it.
See, in a similar way, I'd say Arnie.
Yeah, well, let me just do one thing real fast. What I'm going to do, I'm going to look up I'm going to look up the whole cast for the Expendables, and we'll just read off those names.
Sylvester Stallone.
Weird, what an also good choice.
Jason Statham. I'm actually, I have not said a name here that I'm not okay with. You know who'd be a great Cable? Antonio Banderas. Let's really, honestly, I've been pushing for Black Cyclops, and that could open us up to Wesley Snipes.
Whoa, oh man.
Or Denzel Denzel Washington.
Yes!
I'm fucking going down on that. Denzel Washington as Cable.
I feel like every time someone brings up like, hey, we should make this character black, I'm like, oh, Idris Elba's the best actor in the world. And he's the right age.
Is he? I mean,
Ish.
There's a part of me, if he wasn't such an old asshole now, like Clint Eastwood was up for that role in my mind for a long time.
I picture Cable being like thick though. Like
I do.
Beef Boy.
I want Cable. Like, there's a bit of a like. You have to be a former bodybuilder. In my
Something
mind
like
for
that,
you to
yeah.
play this character.
Do you think he's gonna go like? Do you think they're gonna go full Cable, like glowy eye, metal arm?
They did such a good job with Colossus.
True.
They earned a shit ton of expectation that way. I mean, he was
realistically use the same like mocap template and just take the arm and put it on Cable.
That is exactly what they'll do, I'm sure. I bet that's half the reason they're using Cable is they're like, hey, this is just half a Colossus. Yeah. We can do that easy.
How much metal do you like on your Cable? Because it's been like all the way up its face sometimes. Do you like?
I guess I kind of like that idea that you see it. I'm okay with like the more of it you see, the better. Like I like Cable is a fucking cyborg.
Well, he's got that. What is it? Isn't it like a techno-organic virus or something fucking stupid?
He does. That is exactly the words as to what he has. Yeah. And he also has a clone of himself.
Strife?
Yeah. Who travels through time. Now, here's my last. This is my last name that I have planned for this, and this came up earlier. But and like with Denzel Washington, I want to put my foot down and say, like, this isn't a joke. I am very fucking serious.
This is a good way to preface your name.
Patrick Warburton.
I knew when we talked about this earlier for context. Just Patrick Warburton in general. I should have known.
Patrick Warburton would be a great Cable. Or at least that would be an amazing movie.
In this version, I could see it.
Yeah.
Because Deadpool seems quite, like, irreverent. And, yeah, I could see it in that context. But if it were in, like, if Zack Snyder was making this for his DC films...
Well, I mean, that would be a very different universe we would be living in.
Well, touche.
I mean, I still want Patrick Warburton to be in a Zack Snyder DC movie, just because, like, fuck you, everything.
We're lucky if we're ever going to get an alive Robin. I doubt we would ever see Cable. I know these are different universes, but you know what I mean.
All these continuity things are fucking weird lately. There's a ton of things that I was just like, this will never happen. That was like, oh, that happened, and it was fucking weird.
What are you referencing? Do you have one in mind?
Well, the big one, the big two things that broke me on this will never happen was Watchman. Because Watchman, working in this store, like for the first 7 years I worked here, every week somebody would come in and say, did you know they're making Watchmen? And you would have to take them aside and say, like, it was like explaining Christmas to a little kid of like, no, Watchmen will never get made. Every month or two, somebody says they're going to make Watchmen. It will never, ever, ever, ever happen.
Yeah.
And the other one was, did you hear Keanu Reeves is going to play John Constantine?
Oh, yep.
I'm like, no, that will never happen. And yeah, so now it's one of those of like, those were like the acid trip thing that broke me of like, oh, nothing means anything. Fucking anything can happen whatsoever. Like, oh, it's a $2 billion movie where Superman breaks Zod's neck. Fucking, like, whatever, man. Reality means nothing to us. Donald Trump is president. I'm not even saying that in a, like, anti-Trump way of just of, like, that dude who was in those reality TV shows. Like,
I think we can confidently take an anti-Trump stance on it.
I think maybe that's a safe thing to do. But I just mean, you can say things are negatively weird.
Yeah.
But even beyond that, things are just fucking weird.
I want to rewind for a moment when you quoted the Superman movie at $1 billion budget.
I believe I said $2 billion.
Oh, even better.
I believe I've used the term billion quite a few times today, and
it's getting a little liberal.
I am a big Carl Sagan fan.
Speaking of liberals, let's talk about
let's bring it back to this again.
You're a big Carl Sagan
movies
fan. What does that have to do with billions?
He said billions a lot.
Okay.
Isn't that? Do I have to explain that to your generation?
No.
Here's how you do a Carl Sagan impression. Billions and I can't do a Carl Sagan impression, but if I could.
That's more like Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Early before, man, I wish I could do a Patrick Warburton impression, because that's another that like everybody wants to do and no one can do, and it's just, it's sad.
To end this out, we're both going to try and do Patrick Warburton impressions.
I don't.
Do you want to go first or second?
I want to just go back in my Jerry Seinfeld or my Kermit the Frog. Yeah. It's also Henchman 21.
You got to do it
24.
more from like the gut.
Hey, I'm Patrick Warburton.
That's werewolf Kermit.
I am also okay with that. No, aren't one of these my Ray Romano?
Here, this is my Ray Romano.
Kermit and Ray Romano are the same impression.
I've got the Ray Romano impression, and I've got the ghost of Ray Romano.
Literally my favorite joke.
That's good. That's a good one. Okay, you ready for my Patrick Warburton?
I am.
I don't know what to say.
Hey, I'm Patrick Warburton.
Okay. Hey, I'm Patrick Warburton.
That was
right?
way better than anything I've done.
I've already got a pretty
life.
deep, bored voice, so I'm halfway there.
Hey guys, I'm really bored.
Hey guys, I'm really bored.
Patrick Warburton.
Man, this would be a really fun podcast for somebody to listen to. Have you heard this podcast that's 10 minutes of these guys doing not an impression?
For my next trick, I'm going to eat a whole sleeve of crackers.
And we will not cut. And let's cut.
And cut.